Number 7. In a laboratory experiment, the reaction of 3.0 moles of H2 with 2.0 moles of I2 produced 1 mole of HI. Determine the theoretical yield in grams and the percent yield for this reaction. So this question is actually going to be, you're going to have to make an equation. And the reason you're going to have to do that is you need to figure out which one is the limiting or which one is the excess. So I'm going to write out, we know we have H2, we know we have I2, and we know that produces HI. And from that, we know that to balance this equation, we just need a 2 right here. So it's a simple equation, but it's definitely something you have to write out really quick. We know that there's 3 moles of H2, and we know that there's 2 moles of I2. And so for 3 moles, of H2, we're going to do the following equation, which is for every, I forgot the 2, sorry, my bad. For every 1 mole of H2, I'm going to put moles because I don't want to confuse you guys. 1 mole of H2, you get 2 moles of HI, and we're not going to have that 2 in front of there because that's our 2 right here.
Oh, and then you do this.
So then we are going to then take 1 mole of HI to its molar mass, which the molar mass of HI is, and give me just 1 second. Let me figure that out because my brain is very silly. That's going to be 127.911 grams per mole. So we know in 1 mole there is 127.911 grams of HI. And I'm not going to solve that right away. I'm going to set up our second equation, and that's going to be our 2 moles of I produced. We know that there's 2 moles of HI produced in 1 mole of I2, and we know that in 1 mole of HI there is 127.911 grams of HI. And so from there, once we solve them both, we should get our limiting and excess agents. So for this one, we should get 767 point, I'm going to round it to 5, and then 4, we should get 511.6. And so from there, we know that this amount right here is the smaller amount of, sorry, I didn't put grams HI over here, but we know that this smaller amount of grams HI is the limiting reactant. And the reason we know it's the limiting reactant is because for 2 moles of I, we only produce this much HI. And like when we're doing an equation, we're given one amount here. I'm going to change the color, one amount here and a different amount here. And if we use all of this amount, we're going to get a big number. However, that's our big number. However, if we use all of this amount, we only get this much. And so because it is the smaller amount produced, that's what makes it limiting. Because once we use all of this I2, we only produce this much HI. And normally the limiting reactant is going to be the smaller value. So from that, we know we're going to be using this number for our yields. I'm going to do our percent yield, or our theoretical yield in grams, because we know that for 1 mole of HI, and I'm just going to put this over here, we know for 1 mole, and it's I don't have to write this down. 1 mole of HI is literally our molar mass, which is this number right here. Congratulations, guys. You've already found the theoretical yield in grams. That is our 511.6. However, we also need to find the percent yield, which percent yield is our actual yield over theoretical yield, which our actual yield is that molar mass, again, over our theoretical, which is 511.6 grams. And then we multiply that by 100, which we should get 25%. And so that's our two answers, guys, is this grams and then this percentage.